terracotta, banana terracotta pie. Ugh. Damn, man, there's always a video I want to watch when I go live. It's like, oh, cool, I want to watch that, I want to watch that, I want to watch that. And then, before you know it, it's time to go to sleep. I want to... try something. Okay, last time I crashed horribly, so if we open up DDLC, it should... Yes. I'm so happy. You really are my everything, Reginald. Funny part is, I mean that literally. There's nothing left here. Just the two of us. We could be together forever. Seriously, I don't even think time's passing anymore. So yeah, we're not here for this. Exit DLC. Sorry, girly pop, we gotta delete you again. It hurts. It hurts so much. Help me, Reginald. No, boy. Okay. So we're gonna have to go through this again. Actually... Excuse me, my throat kind of hurts, to be honest.
Bye.
You are my everything, Reginald.
Okay, sounds good.
You are my everything, Reginald.
Okay. Okay. Yes, I deleted you, boy. Maybe we're the bad guys. Because we're the ones who keep on restarting. Doki Doki Literature Club. Making all of them go through the same fate over and over again. I can skip. Get some water. I guess the meeting's over, huh? Yeah, looks like it. It's nice to see everyone getting along. Isn't it? I think everyone likes you too, Reginald. You think so? The other one always seems to get along a little bit better with you around, Sayori. Aw, Reginald. Don't say something like that. It's embarrassing. Well, whatever. I was surprised when you told me you were starting a club. But I think you're pulling it off just fine. We're gonna make the best club ever. Now that you joined, every day's gonna be so much fun. Hey, Reginald. I really want to thank you. I mean, I'm really happy that you joined the club and everything. But the truth is, I already knew you were going to. There's actually something else. I want you to thank you for spending so much time with all of us. I did it! Yes! You worked so hard to make each and every one of us happy. You comfort us through our hard times. And you help us all get along with each other. Do you get it, Reginald? Because I'm president now, I understand everything. You really didn't want to miss a single thing in this game, did you? You saved and loaded so many times just to make sure you could spend time with everyone. Only someone who truly cares about the literature club would go that far. But all along, that's all I ever wanted. For everyone to be happy and care about each other. It's kind of sad, you know? After all you've done for us, there isn't much I can do for you in return. We're already reached the end of the game. So, this is where we say goodbye. Thank you for playing Doki Doki Literature Club. I'm gonna miss you, Reginald. I'm gonna miss you too. Come visit sometime, okay? We'll always be here for you. We. We all love you. Ah!
Hi.
In my hand is a pen that'll write a poem for me and you. Of me, bud. The ink flows down into a dark puddle. Just move your hand, write your way into his heart. And in this world of infinite choices, what will we do just to find that special day? What will it take just to find that special day? To the special player who received this special ending. For years I have been enamored by the ability of visual novels and games in general to tell stories in ways not possible using traditional media. Doki Doki Literature Club is my love letter to that. Games are an interactive art. Some let you explore new worlds. Some challenge your mind in brand new ways. Some make you feel like a hero or a friend, even when life is hard on you. Some games are just plain fun, and that's okay too. Everyone likes different kinds of games. People who enjoy dating sims may have a heightened empathy. People who enjoy dating sims may have a heightened empathy for fictional characters, or they may be experiencing feelings that life has not been kind enough to offer them. If they are enjoying themselves, then that's all that matters. That goes for shooting games, casual games, sandbox games, anything. Preferences are preferences, and our differences are the reason we have a thriving video game industry. My own favorite games have always been ones that challenge the status quo. Even if it's not a masterpiece, any game that attempts something wildly different may earn a special place in my heart. Anything that further pushes the limitless bounds of interactive media. I extend my gratitude to all of those who have taken the time to achieve full completion. I hope you enjoyed playing it as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you for being part of my literature club. Love, Dan Salvato. I like that. We also have anyone evaluated side effects that may be caused by sharing a memory pool between multiple VMs rather than allocating them separately? I'm looking at some files VM1 is generating, and I'm finding some information that definitely shouldn't be there. I haven't seen any evidence that is actually affecting the inside of the VM itself, so I don't think this is a priority, but it's definitely worth noting. My best guess is that memories being free from VM2 isn't getting zeroed out, which technically gives VM1 access to it. All the info I have will go into the issue tracker, but I wanted to check if anyone else already noticed something along those lines. Natsuki. So it looks like I might have to go through it if I don't really want to. If I want all of the those poems, but I kind of because those are kind of by chance. Oh well. Side stories. Balance. 2, 4, 6. So we got 6 more side stories to go. Natsuki! While Natsuki is messing up with the orientation of her manga in the closet shelves, Sayori approaches from behind and pulls her into a brace. I think this song, I forgot what it's called, but I think it's my favorite one of the new songs. The background music. I think I said it right, but yeah, whatever. I can't speak. Oh god. I like the song. There. Sayori approaches from behind and pulls her into an embrace. What? Sorry. Hi! Hi! The literature club has been in full swing since Natsuki joined. Including her, the club is now comprised of 4 members. Comprised, not compromised. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and Monika. Each club member had received a day in the spotlight to share all of their favorite kinds of literature with each other. Natsuki was first and shared her passion for manga. Then Sayori shared her love for poetry, as well as how she goes about writing it herself. Monika, who has multiple literary interests, decided to focus her day on short stories. And finally, Yuri managed to demonstrate her obsession with fantasy, with a little help and encouragement from Sayori. After the weeks was spent on their presentations, Monika decided to give the club members this next week to freely explore each other's literary interests. Sayori, having spending most of her time in the club so far with Yuri's fantasy books, is rather excited to begin her journey into Natsuki's manga collection. I want to read with you today. Tell me which one I should pick. Well, it depends on what kind of stuff you like. I mean, there's like romance, drama, comedy, mystery. What about a romance, drama, comedy, mystery? I like all those things. I'm wrong boy. I like all those things. Me too. Sayori reaches out and pulls a random book from the shelf and inspects the cover. Shouldn't this girl be wearing more clothes? You wouldn't like that one.
In a panic, Natsuki snatches the book from Sayori's hand, then replaces it on the shelf in a less conspicuous location.
Okay, well, if you really have no preference...
Was that hentai? Or ecchi?
Don't worry about it. Okay, well, if you really have no preference, then let's just start with something that's easy to get into. A lot of these things don't start to get really good until like a few volumes in, and I wouldn't ask someone to make that kind of commitment unless you're already into manga, really into manga. Boo, boo, boo. I could handle it. I did it with Yuri's books at least. Well, I'm more considerate than that. Although I'm kind of impressed by your attention span if you put that much effort into her books. No, I have an attention span of a donut. But I love my friends. I can do anything if it's for them. Well, okay then. Let's pick you something that even donuts can read. I didn't say I was a donut, I just said I had an attention span of one. Aw, were you just trying to call me sweet? You're so cute. No! How did you come to that conclusion? And don't call me that. A donut? Cute.
Aw, how come?
I just don't like it. I don't need a reason.
Natsuki yanks a book from the shelf and closes the closet doors.
If someone asks you to stop, then you just need to stop. People need to realize that. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Nah, sorry. It wasn't you.
Natsuki shakes her head while pulling a second chair over to her desk.
I was talking about something else. I didn't mean to get angry all of a sudden.
Natsuki averts her gaze and mumbles.
You're like a nice person, so I wasn't talking about you. I still learned a valuable lesson.
Oh, I mean softly. Sayori speaks softly as well, feeling shy after receiving the unexpected compliment.
Well, anyway, here's the book, so just start it whenever you feel like it, yeah.
What's it about?
Well, it's like a comedy, but there's romance too, obviously.
Sayori looks at the title. It's called Love is Another Word for Luck.
It's about a girl who keeps accidentally running into the same guys, and then you find out like... Well, you should just read it. But you have to tell me what you think. I can already guess who you're gonna ship yourself with. It'll be so funny if I'm right. Ship? I don't get it.
Oh, Lord.
Never mind. Well, let's not worry about that yet. Just make sure that you tell me what you think.
Oh, okay.
I'll start then.
Hey, maybe tomorrow we can do poetry too.
Oh, yeah, I guess. But don't you want to finish this first?
Yeah, but we can do both. I mean, unless you don't like poetry, then I won't make you or anything.
No, it's just... Well, never mind. We can worry about it tomorrow.
After the club meeting ends, and Natsuki and Yuri leave, Monika strikes up a conversation with Sayori. I see you got Natsuki to share some of her manga with you. I really want to become better friends with her. She's so enthusiastic and expressive. I could just listen to her talk. She's so good. I'm not sure if she meant I can't say that to her, or I just can't say it at all. Say what?
Nothing. I'm a woman of respect. But Natsuki is a woman of cute. Oh, I said it.
What's so bad about that?
I don't know. But you know, there is one thing I'm kind of worried about. Sometimes I'm afraid that Natsuki actually doesn't like me very much.
Aw, that's ridiculous. How come you feel that way?
Well, I mean, just little signs, like how she only says hi to me after I say hi to her first. It feels like she only gets excited to talk to me when it's about manga and other stuff she likes. She just seems dismissive a lot. She was like that when I brought up poetry.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean she doesn't like you. She's probably just shy, you know?
Maybe. My stupid head is just making me worry for no reason. It likes to do that.
Same. It's okay. Try not to worry so much. Everything will be great. But you can always talk to me about any concerns that you have. I'm here to help.
You're the best.
Sayori gives Monica a quick hug.
Well, I'm gonna keep trying because I love her and I want to get closer to her.
You got this. After the next club meeting starts, Sayori is the last one in, as usual. Trotting into the room, she sees Natsuki sitting alone by the closet, reading what must be manga. Without hesitation, Sayori pulls up a chair and plops herself down right next to Natsuki.
Hello there. Hi. What you reading? Can I read it with you?
Natsuki pulls the book away from Sayori.
You can't just start in the middle. They're spoilers. Besides, what about the one I gave you yesterday? Sorry, I was just curious. Well, anyway, I've been waiting forever for this volume to come out, and it just came out yesterday, so... Ooh, that's exciting. Well, I'll let you read it then. Can I sit next to you, though? Sure.
Sayori plops herself down next to Natsuki, then pulls out a blank sheet of paper. Natsuki reads in silence, save for the periodic flutter of a page being released from beneath her thumb. From Sayori's side, only the light tapping noises of her pen meeting the paper can be heard. Time passes. Sayori's paper is filled with scribbles, and the margins are lined with stick figures. Natsuki lets out a deep sigh and closes her book.
Did you finish? No, but it's a good stopping point. My head is swimming. I need a break.
Natsuki stretches her arms.
Aren't you bored? No, I was writing. Oh, I saw all the stick figures and I thought you were just bored. I just draw those when I'm thinking or waiting for inspiration. I mean friends with them all. This one is sad because she thinks the night sky is pretty, but she can't look up at the stars in public without everyone thinking she's a weirdo. And this one has problems with his back, but the doctors can't figure out what's wrong with him. What the heck? You're the weirdo. Want to read the poem I'm working on? Sure, I guess.
Sayori slides the paper over to Natsuki. As Natsuki reads through the poem, she furrows her eyebrows. She slides the paper back to Sayori.
Don't you ever feel weird just sharing all your thoughts and feelings like that? I mean, your poems are like really emotional. Is that bad? Well, no. It's just an observation. I think people can get closer to each other if they find ways of expressing their feelings. Well...
Natsuki begins to protest, but she can't find a good way to putting her thoughts into words.
Doesn't that depend more on, like, the kinds of friends you have? I don't know. Each their own, but I never met anyone I'd feel comfortable sharing my poems with. Not that it's you, it's just how I am, so... You write poems? You never told me that. I just thought you wrote other stuff. Yeah, that too, but... You should. I mean, would you ever want to share? Like I said, I don't do that. But... Can we talk about something else? I'm sorry. It's not your fault. It just makes me uncomfortable. I can't help it. Still, I'm sorry. It's fine. Well, let's move on to something that makes us both happy. I should continue reading. Should I continue the book you gave me since I didn't get very far yet? Didn't get very far. Here.
Over the next few days, Sayori begins each club meeting by approaching Natsuki with unwavering enthusiasm.
It's Natsuki! Natsuki! Hi, Natsuki!
At the end of one club meeting, Monica, who has become rather invested in Sayori's friendship mission, starts an innocuous conversation with Natsuki while she packs up. It's cool you've been finding time to spend with Sayori. She was pretty excited for the chance to read manga with you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been enjoying the chance to share it too, right?
Yeah, mostly.
Natsuki glances over her shoulder but doesn't reply further. What's on your mind?
Nothing. I don't talk about people behind their backs.
Oh. Natsuki falls silent, but she just fidgets instead of getting back to what she was doing, as though she wants to say more.
Oh. Howdy. Howdy, Ben.
We haven't been getting crap, unfortunately. I'm hoping for some storm soon. There's a 4 out of 5 chance of severe weather around in the Great Lakes area, which is nowhere near me. And I accidentally... Oops. It's okay to share your feelings. That's different from talking about someone behind their back.
I guess. I just hate when people talk about me behind my back, so I'm better than to do it to others.
Sag indeed.
Monica shares a bright smile.
You're really considerate.
Triple Sag.
You're really considerate.
Thanks, I guess, but it doesn't really feel like it.
You can trust me.
Esky stands in silence for a moment, still fidgeting. I just feel smothered sometimes. I'm not used to someone being, like, all over me right after we meet. I mean, it's fun to hang out with her, but I just have no control over the pace. I can't just meet someone and instantly become best friends with them and, like, share everything about myself. That's not how it works. I just want to chill out sometimes.
Oh, I didn't realize that was happening.
It's fine. Why would you have?
I know, I just feel bad about it. I know Sayori, so I should have realized. Monica navigates through her tinge of guilt, which has surfaced mainly due to her being the one who previously encouraged Sayori's behavior. Despite not knowing the situation, Monica can't help but feel a little responsible. Do you want me to talk to her about it?
No, I wouldn't like that.
Well, I don't know. I could like divert her into another club activity for you or something.
No way, that would be so underhanded and mean.
Sorry, I didn't think that one through.
Besides, just because I complained about it doesn't mean I'm asking for someone to solve my problems for me.
True. I'm sorry. I guess I just instinctively want to try to solve your problems even if I haven't been invited to.
It's fine. I would talk to Sayori about it, but it would make things really weird between us. I feel like it would make her just constantly be afraid that she's bothering me. I don't know how to just keep things natural.
Well, I think you do a good job expressing all your feelings. She would totally understand. I mean, if you do a good job. Sayori really wants to be the best she can be for other people. I think she would actually be really happy you want to improve your friendship with her.
Maybe. Ugh, this just feels so dumb, talking to someone about how to be friends with him. It's just weird and not cool.
Monica shrugs. It is the literature club. Then she mumbles through a stifled laugh. It's not the cool club.
Hey!
Sorry, that just tickled me for some reason. Look, I know that you're kind of in a tough spot and that it's hard for you to really express yourself, but you really demonstrated to me that you're great at self-reflection and critical thinking, even if it doesn't feel like it to you. I think that's the most important part of being able to navigate through these things. So I believe that you'll find the right thing to do.
Well,
Natsuki instinctively starts to reject the compliment, but she can't find any excuse to do so.
Thanks.
Natsuki gathers her things, then she finishes her thought in a mumble.
And I'm still glad I joined the club, even if it's weird sometimes.
Monica smiles, but Natsuki turns her back and walks away before waiting for a reply. It was an unusual way for Natsuki to express her appreciation. Monica knew what she meant. It made Monica feel like everything really was going to be okay. Woohoo! It's lunchtime. Sayori, who usually buys her lunch, is making her way to the cafeteria like any other day. The clamor and bustle of the students is drowned by Sayori's impeccable skill of zoning out. However, her imagination is momentarily interrupted by the glimpse of a familiar pink-haired girl. Oh, thank you. Yes, the uwu voice definitely has its perks. However, pink-haired girl.
Hey, that's Natsuki! I never run into the other club members around the school. Natsuki!
Sayori stands on her tiptoes and waves. Natsuki, who's busy walking and chatting with her friends, doesn't notice Sayori at first. Then she glances over in Sayori's direction. Sayori waves enthusiastically. Following her friends, Natsuki quickly ducks around the corner.
Hey! She definitely saw me.
Monica is the first to arrive to the club meeting, then Natsuki. Sayori, having glanced through the window to see Natsuki is already inside, is unable to work up the courage to enter.
Natsuki's being so distant with me. I was so stupid to think she ever wanted to be friends. She only got excited because I got to share her manga. But besides from that, she doesn't even like me. I should just go home today.
Sorry, but do you plan on going inside?
No.
Why?
I'm sulking.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry for bothering you. Excuse me.
No, don't leave me.
Oh. I'll just stay here then.
I don't want to go in. I'm afraid of bothering Natsuki. I saw her at lunch today, so I waved and called out to her, but instead of saying hi, she just ran away from me.
Really? Not bad.
Hey!
Sorry. I'm sorry. That was a joke. It just sounded like something stupid that I would do from anxiety.
My phone's dying. My foot's falling asleep. From anxiety?
Well, I just don't like attention being drawn to myself.
Oh. Well, that makes sense based on the person you are. But Natsuki isn't shy like that at all. I thought we were friends. But it feels like every day she's just trying to distance herself more instead of getting closer. It makes me feel like she was only spending time with me during the club because I was reading manga, but she doesn't actually want to be friends with me.
Well, I feel like I'm missing a lot of context here. Was she in the middle of anything when you approached her?
No, she was just walking with her friends.
With her friends? Yuri pauses for a moment. How do I put this? Sayori, you're very fond of your friends, right? You always want to be spending time with them?
Of course! I don't think there's anything more important to me. I mean, the best parts of my day are always with my friends. Besides that, I really hate being alone, so...
You hate being alone? Sayori nods. We're very different people. I cherish my time alone. I wouldn't trade it for anything. So I think... Well, if I was trying to have alone time, and it was being threatened with an interruption, then it would not make me very happy.
Yeah, but that doesn't have to do with Natsuki. She was already with her friends, not trying to be alone or anything.
No, I think it's similar. Well, we're all friends in the club. But we have our own lives outside the club as well. If you think about it, making new friends isn't some casual occurrence that happens on a daily basis. A friendship is an invitation to intertwine your lives together. but the capacity at which each person is ready to do that might be different. There are friends who are just like to have fun together, and others who talk every day and share every detail of their lives with each other. I think when establishing a friendship, it's important to consider the comfort level of the other person. I mean, we don't really know much about Natsuki's life outside of the club. It could be that she simply needs to make friends at her own pace rather than jump headfirst into a new commitment.
But that means I really was bothering her. I just really wanted to be good friends with her, so I treated her like one. Was I actually hurting her?
I don't know. I'm sorry. My insight was really only based on what I understand about my own needs. And inside... Oops. And Natsuki and I are completely different, so...
Why was I so selfish? Even if all that is true, then it still means I hurt her. I think I messed up. Yuri, with you, I think I was really careful to understand your needs when I was becoming friends with you. But I wasn't careful at all with Natsuki because she already seemed really social. I just took control of everything instead of looking for the right balance. Now I hurt her and she doesn't want to talk to me. How could I let myself do this?
Sayori? I think that... Well, there was one time you told me something about the way I saw things in my head being different from reality. It's easy to automatically jump to the worst case scenario, but I think it's more likely that Natsuki doesn't harbor any ill feelings towards you. So I think if we were to realistically consider the situation and how it would cause someone to feel, I'm bad at this, I'm sorry. You're a lot better than me at things like comforting and reassuring people. Suddenly Sayori gives Yuri a gentle hug.
You're the best, Yuri. I'm sorry for burdening you with this. You're trying so hard for me. You're such a sweetheart.
It's not a burden. I enjoy listening to others, and my friends deserve happiness.
Sayori beams. Well, I think I'm going to give Natsuki some space. She should do what she wants. And if oh my god, sorry. And if she does still want to be friends, then I'll learn her needs and I'll match her boundaries. Yeah, I'm sure that's what's best. I wish I didn't feel so awful and guilty. It makes me feel desperate, like I need to make it up to her by trying to make her happy. But that's not what she needs. I just have to tell myself that. It hurts, but I guess it means I still need to grow. I really want to grow as a person. If it's to be better for my friends, I want that.
That's very mature of you, Sayori.
I'm mature. Sayori hops down on her toes.
So, does that mean you'll be going home after all? Sayori shakes her head.
I need to be here to show her that I respect her space. I'll just spin the club by myself today.
Yuri nods in understanding.
You can go in first.
Okay. You're blocking the door.
Oh, Sayori steps aside. By the way, before Yuri enters the club room, Sayori interjects. You said that you and Natsuki are completely different, but I don't really think that's true. I think you're actually really similar in a lot of ways. Yuri smiles and shakes her head.
Sayori, that's absurd. You're very silly sometimes. Yuri turns and enters the club room. After a moment, Sayori follows.
Such a silly Bailey.
The club room is quiet. When Sayori walks in, Natsuki glances in her direction. Sayori smiles and gives Natsuki a quick wave before sitting down across the room. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. Sayori decides it's best to continue the manga she was reading, so she pulls it out. However, it looks like Natsuki isn't reading today. She has a sheet of paper in front of her and is tapping a pen against her desk, staring at it. Ooh, are we writing today? Monica speaks in a quiet voice, unwilling to disturb the peace of the club room. She kneels down at Natsuki's desk.
Hey!
Natsuki pulls the sheet closer to her and covers it with her arms. Sorry, I didn't mean to peek.
Whatever.
I just wanted to see how everything was going.
It's fine.
Natsuki replies dismissively. She glances over at Sayori, who is focused on her manga. Monica follows Natsuki's gaze.
I think she's mad at me.
How come?
I'm busy right now. Ask me later.
Monica falls silent. Natsuki looks down at her paper. She inched her hand away from the top margin, allowing Monica to see. It says, to Sayori. Understanding, Monica smiles. She places a hand on Natsuki's shoulder and whispers softly, I'm proud of you. Natsuki looks away, but makes no motion to remove Monica's hand. Monica gives Natsuki's shoulder a quick squeeze before standing back up and pulling away. The end of the club meeting passes. Yuri has already departed. So has Monica, after checking on Sayori and Natsuki to ensure they wouldn't stay too late. Sayori was determined to finish her manga volume before heading out since the end was approaching. However, with Natsuki also staying late for an unknown reason, a silent tension hangs in the air. After finishing the volume, Sayori brings it to the closet to put it away. She slides it back onto the shelf while Natsuki watches. Then Natsuki gets up and pulls it back out in order to return it to its proper location.
Sorry. I didn't know where it was supposed to go. It's fine.
The two fall silent again, avoiding eye contact. They both look like they're about to say something, but neither can break the silence. A moment passes.
Well, I'll be on my way. See you tomorrow.
Sayori turns away to hide her pained expression, then walks away from the closet. If there was any proof Natsuki no longer wanted to be friends, this was it. Defeated, Sayori carries herself out of the clubroom. Once in the hallway, Sayori takes a deep breath and hits her palms against her cheeks to clear her head a little. Suddenly, Natsuki's stammering voice calls from behind.
Natsuki?
Startled, Sayori turns back around to face Natsuki.
Aww.
Natsuki fidgets and anxiously continues with a shaking voice.
I have a lot of things to say. Me too. But you go first.
Natsuki bites her lip and can't stay still.
Well, first of all,
she cuts herself short, struggling to continue. Trying to force the words out, she stamps her foot and hops up and down a little.
I'm sorry for the thing I did at lunch, and I'm sorry for just being kind of mean lately. It's really hard for me to I'm not good with things that makes me uncomfortable, especially when it comes to like feelings and stuff.
It looks out of context, it looks like she's like confessing her love. It's cute.
So,
face burning, Natsuki clams up again. Instead of continuing, she simply holds up a sheet of paper for Sayori to take.
The best place in the world. I love my bedroom. It's full of bright colors and soft things. The sunlight shines in and makes everything sparkle. It's the best place in the world. It has all my treasures, all my books, my collections, my memories. All of my dreams were born in this room. It is the best place in the world. It has all my secrets, all my failures, my fears, my feelings. Sometimes it feels so fragile that the door will break at the slightest touch, but it's still the best place in the world. But when someone knocks, I get scared. I brace my arms against the loose hinges. Please don't break. Don't come in. I'm not ready. It's my best place in the world. The knocking won't stop. I block the door with furniture. An eye peeks through the keyhole and I panic. I'm trapped in the best place in the world. I'm not ready to share my favorite place. I need to clean my secrets and make my bed to hide my nightmares. I need to touch them to put them away, to see them again. I have so much to do and I'm scared I'm not ready. But it's still my favorite place. I still want to share it. However long it takes, if you wait patiently. I'll eventually open the door and I'll show you the best place in the world. It's a poem, but I thought, well, I sucked it up so that I could work things out with you. So I just be happy with it, about it, please? Sayori smiles deeply from the bottom of her heart. I'm happier than I could express. I feel so awful, but I'm so happy that you would do this for me. I actually realized before the club meeting today that I made a mistake. I got so caught up in the chance to get closer to you that I forgot to think about what you wanted. And that we probably have different ways we like to make friends. About like the friendship stuff? I mean, it's okay. I understand. You don't have to force yourself to talk about it. Your poem did a good job. So don't force yourself if you're not ready yet, okay? Natsuki nods. You don't have to feel like you did anything wrong. It was my fault and I'm sorry. I wasn't mad at you today or anything like that. I actually felt really guilty and wanted to give you space. I was thinking it's silly if that I just approach you all the time and that I should just let you approach me when you want to. Just whatever makes you comfortable. I respect that from now on. Friendship should always start with those things. With the right balance. Natsuki nods again. One thing about that. Well, I don't have to approach you all the time either. I want it to be balanced. I just want it to be balanced, like you said. Sayori nods. I understand. We'll make sure of that together then. Well, anyway, now that the two of them have found common ground, Natsuki finds it easier to speak more freely again. I'm not gonna be like sharing my poems all the time now or anything like that. But I guess it wouldn't hurt to do it once in a while. Only the best ones. So you better like them because otherwise it might change my mind. I like anything you do, Natsuki. I was just saying. More importantly, I have to tell you about my new boyfriend. Huh? Oh, from the manga. Wait, I need to guess who it is. You definitely won't be able to guess. The two walk down the hallway together. Oh my god, we have so much to talk about. Darn, I should have told you to save those last two chapters so I could see your reaction to the big reveal. Aw, you wanted to enjoy it with me? That's so cute. Oh, shush. Yeah, it's cute. Does it take like... How long have I been... Okay. Almost there.
Am I bothering you?
No.
Okay, I was just checking. It's hard to tell since you always look so into... I feel like I got water in my ear. Okay, I was just checking. It's hard to tell since you always look so into it when you're reading. Makes me scared to interrupt.
Well, it's within my expectations to be interrupted when I read here. It's mainly when I'm by myself that I don't like it.
That makes sense. I guess if you're here in the first place, then you're more ready to socialize, even if it takes a little bit of prodding.
It's not so bad to be social if I let others do the work, so it can be healthy to put myself in a social environment every now and then.
Ayo, see.
It's mostly difficult when I don't know anyone, or there are too many people, or everyone's being too silly for me to keep up with.
Yuri glances across the room at Sayori and Natsuki. Sayori has her head cocked back and her mouth open, trying to catch pieces of a cookie that Natsuki is lobbing into the air, but the pieces kept bouncing off her face and hitting the floor. Maybe I should say something.
No need. They just ran out of cookie. What a waste.
They've really become good friends, haven't they? I'm happy.
Sayori seems particularly good at making that happen. But the two of them are both on the energetic side, so I suppose it works out well.
Yeah, come to think of it, you and I haven't had many chances to talk one-on-one, haven't we? Though that may be partially my fault, since I'm supposed to be the one engaging club members.
Not at all. I've probably formed a habit of drawing minimal attention to myself. The responsibility is equally on me, at least to display some openness to engage.
Well, what about during times like lunch? Do you meet up with friends?
I just read.
Oh,
But I like it that way. It feels nice to be carried off again after a morning of classes.
do you always read fantasy?
Oh, not always. I suppose it's all I read recently, but only because I'm in the middle of the series. There are still 2 more books after this one.
I guess those long books suit you well since you spend so much time reading.
Well, fantasy may be my favorite, but after that, I'm more or less indiscriminate to genres. I'll read anything with depth and maturity. Maturity.
No, you haven't been charging!
Sad.
Oh yeah? Even like romance?
Well, there are a lot of books that have an element of romance in them.
Oh, come on, Yuri. You know what I mean.
Monica lowers her voice.
It's a guilty pleasure of mine, so I won't tell anyone if you do too.
Same! That's why I'm into ultimate. I'm just a sucker for romance. Maybe more when I was in middle school. I mean, I was really lonely and people were mean to me a lot. So it kind of felt like, please don't make me think about the past.
Sorry, I just got super curious. You know, we should totally pick out a romance novel to read. That would be so much fun.
Absolutely not.
Really? Even if it's just between us?
Try asking someone who has no shame, like Natsuki.
Ouch.
Sorry, I swear I didn't mean that.
Well, I guess it was my fault for pressing you. I'm like that for things in my past too. You know, things I feel too embarrassed to re-experience.
There's nothing wrong with growing out of things. It happens to everyone. For instance, Natsuki's interest in manga reminds me quite a bit of how intense I used to be about my own interests. Makes me think that she'll likely grow out of it too.
Hey, are you talking about me?
No, we were just...
Oh, we were just talking about how our interests have changed over the years. When did you get into manga, Natsuki?
Like a couple of years ago, I guess. I was already sort of into it before that, but I wasn't really going hard until then.
Oh yeah? What was it that inspired you to get more into it?
I don't know. I guess, let me think. It was after I discovered a series that I really liked. Yeah, I was just like really fed up with a lot of things, and I got super into this one series that I really related to. I guess I had an edgy phase where I just hated everyone around me and wanted to be by myself.
Hey, that's kind of like Yuri.
Monica.
Sorry.
That's completely wrong, so...
It's still cool that you both really found your thing. They're almost like opposites, but it sounds like they help you a lot through hard times.
You know it. Wow, what the heck? This book... Is that book even bigger than the last one you were reading?
It's technically slightly longer, but not by very much.
How high do you think it would go if you stacked up the whole series?
Natsuki estimates by holding her hand high above her head, sizing up an imaginary stack.
I should get one of those mangas that's like 50 volumes long so I could say I've read more than you. Not that I have the money for that.
Please, that would hardly count when your books only have a few words per page.
I know, I'm just joking. I could never actually read books like yours. It's too boring for me. Yeah, no, Natsuki, don't get into One Piece. Yuri shoots a glare at Natsuki.
It's not boring.
Chill, I said for me, not for you. I may have my own opinion, but I just think it's too convoluted.
Sayori, are those from the floor?
Ah, gross! Also, wash your hands before touching any of my books. But my hands aren't dirty! You're eating floor cookies! Just do it! The oils are there even if you can't see them. Fine.
Sayori trots out of the door and Natsuki follows. Yuri, you look a little upset.
What kind of nerve does she has to call my hobby boring?
Well, she did correct herself. Hardly. She was so Oops, wrong voice.
Hardly. She was so condescending. I don't mind if she thinks it's not for her. I already understand that it's not for everyone. But she knows well how much these mean to me, so how about just leaving me alone instead of needlessly telling me the things you hate about it?
I'm sorry, Yuri. You may be right. This won't be the last time people have strong feelings about what they like and don't like. Especially in a literature club, so I should figure out how to mediate discussions to keep them positive and constructive. For the record, I've always been impressed by the level of creativity in your books, and also your ability to get through them so quickly.
Thank you.
Okay, well, this is something that I'll have to think about and revisit. I'm sure it can help Natsuki and find some common ground with you.
Common ground isn't necessary. I just wish to be respected.
That then. Either way, I'll do my best.
I'm skeptical when it comes to Natsuki. I trust you, Monica, but I'm skeptical.
Okay, everyone. We have a special club meeting today. As you know, the Literature Club is a place where we get to share things that we're really passionate about. But that also means we should be mindful of how we respond to each other's feelings. I think we have a chance to turn our differences into positive energy for each other.
Aren't you being a little dramatic about this?
This is important to me.
Well, sorry. I just feel like I'm being accused or something.
No, I'm not accusing anyone or anything. I'm sorry if I came off that way. But our conversation yesterday made me reflect on the power of language, and I thought it would be a good topic for the Literature Club, don't you think? I'm sure we're going to have differences in opinion a lot, so I need to make sure we're prepared to keep a positive atmosphere in the club.
If you say so.
Sure. The cool thing about language is that it gives us a lot of different ways to express the same idea or emotion. We have a lot of control over how we want the other person to feel when receiving our thought. This goes for poetry, narratives, casual conversation, basically anything. For example, Sayori, what's your favorite food?
I have them organized by category. Should I start with snacks or you mean full meals? Should I include breakfast?
Oh, jeez. Okay, how about your favorite fruit?
That's easy. Cherries.
Same. Really? I always thought cherries tasted nasty.
What? Cherries are delicious!
Wow, that's a pretty strong reaction.
Well, I just don't understand how someone could think cherries are nasty.
How does that make you feel?
I don't know. Sad?
Defensive, maybe?
Yeah, I got defensive.
See? The reason you had such a strong reaction wasn't just because I don't like cherries. It's because you felt like your opinion was under attack. But that's weird, right? Something like taste is completely subjective. But when I say something like, I think cherries taste nasty, I'm using objective language. I'm challenging Sayori's reality that cherries are delicious with my own, which is that cherries are nasty.
Wait, hold on. How is that objective? When you just said it was only your... Oh my god, I'm sorry. How is that objective when you said it was only your own opinion? Oh my god.
It has, oh no, emotional intelligence. It has to do with our way our brains interpret. It has to do with the way our brains interpret the words. You're talking about the reality of the cherries, not your feelings about them. Like Sayori. Let's rewind for a second and pretend I didn't tell you that I think cherries are nasty.
Good.
So, what if instead of that I said like, I've tried cherries and they're not for me. It's not the kind of flavor I enjoy.
Well, that's fine. As long as you don't call them nasty. Nasty is a nasty word.
Okay, so cherries was kind of a weird example, but I think it gets the point across. This time around, instead of talking about the cherries, I just talked about my feelings, and Sayori didn't get defensive. Yeah, Sayori's still best girl. She's my favorite. So instead of clashing with each other, it's like we received an invitation to talk about our differences. Yuri, you don't need to take notes. I'm not going to quiz you or something.
I know that. I was just...
Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out. You can do whatever you'd like. But does anyone have any thoughts so far?
Yeah, I just feel like I shouldn't have to put all my language through a filter just to protect someone's feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings, oh god.
Well, you don't have to. The choice is yours on how you want to come across to other people. I'm only guessing it as a tool to help you turn your differences into a positive experience rather than an argument. Right, Sayori?
Whatever you say, cherry hater.
Oh, come on. Sayori, I actually like cherries. Let's just saying that to help demonstrate.
What the heck? I've been duped!
I'm sorry, Sayori. I'll make it up to you later. How about a cherry sundae?
You are welcome to dupe me anytime, my beloved president.
Buying your people's loyalty, how deplorable.
Oh, like you would turn down a free sundae, Yuri. You were certainly a fan of those cupcakes I brought in the other week.
That was, I was reading and not keeping track of them.
Oh, that's enough for getting off topic. Now that we got the gist of it, how about we try it with something more relevant to the club? Like manga, right? Let's try to have a productive discussion about our differences in opinion. Yuri, you want to start?
Well, I'd rather not, no.
How come?
Well, because I don't see how anything productive can come from that. It's just gonna start a fight.
Oh no, it'll be fine. This is why I'm here to moderate. Let's just have a calm and rational discussion.
Yeah, give me a little more credit. I'm not a child. You don't have to coddle my feelings. I always think it's more respectable to just speak your mind.
Respectable?
Yuri's expression changes at that word. As Monica recalls, being respected was the crux of the matter for Yuri. Well, the point of the exercise isn't exactly like.
It's fine. I have nothing against anyone personally. You're entitled to enjoy whatever it is you like. I just prefer more depth and nuance in my reading material. I look for stories that are imaginative and sophisticated beyond the surface level.
Oh, well, that's just a misunderstanding then. I thought you were going to say that manga is for children or something. Like, I don't hear enough of that. But there's plenty of deep manga.
I'm not clueless about manga. I read my own fair share when I was younger.
What? Are you serious? How come you never told me?
Because I'm past that point in my life, and I really prefer not to revisit it. I prefer more mature things now.
Excuse me?
Okay, hold on. Can I jump in here? Let's try to keep things subjective. Because if you imply that manga is immature, then aren't you implying that someone is immature for being into it?
Well, maybe it's immature to judge people for having different tastes than you.
Natsuki.
No Nobody's immature. I've read Natsuki's manga and Yuri's fantasy, and I love them both in their own way. Okay. It's great that you like it, but I still find it boring.
Boring isn't subjective.
Okay, it bores me. That's subjective.
But I meant the thing about...
This is ridiculous. Do you see why I didn't want to participate in this? I knew it was just going to make people upset.
I'm not upset. Like I said, I don't care what other people think. But I always got the impression that you secretly looked down upon me, so I'm glad my suspicions were confirmed.
That's not true at all. You're making assumptions. You can't blame me for getting defensive when nobody ever had the least bit of respect for the things that I'm into. The only thing I look down upon is when people make fun of me for just being myself and trying to mind my own business.
What? Haven't you looked in a mirror? Tell me again about respect and for calling all my interests immature.
You can't.
Please stop. Please? You don't mean the things you're saying right now. Let's just be friends.
I didn't mean for this to happen.
Well, it did. So please, don't invite yourself to try to solve other people's problems next time, okay? Yuri's piercing words sends the clubroom into a choked silence as she gathers her things. She leaves.
Holy crap. I never heard her sound like that before. She must be so pissed.
Well, you weren't very nice either, so...
I was just saying. How did this happen?
It's my fault. Yuri wasn't wrong. I shouldn't have tried to moderate a conflict when I know how bad I am at dealing with conflicts. It was really stupid. It was really a stupid thing for me to do.
It's nobody's fault, and it wasn't stupid. Everyone in the club is a nice person. Nobody could have expected this. But I guess we're sensitive about the things we really love. Honestly, she kind of brought it up herself. Like I said, I don't care if you're not into manga, but if you actually look down on other people for it... I think I said that wrong, but you get the gist.
That's kind of the point I was trying to make in the first place. It's not about sugarcoating things. It's about just recognizing and understanding our differences.
Okay, but here's the thing about that. Yuri actually looks down on me. It has nothing to do with her word choice or anything like that. So I see what you're trying to do, but I really think the problem here is her. Not just like the way we talk to each other, right?
I mean,
Yuri isn't like that. She's a lot sweeter than you're giving her credit for. I'm sure she'll be reflecting on this. I actually think everyone should.
It will be fine. I'll figure something out. Wow, I'm just like saying that instinctively. I'm just setting myself up to cause more problems.
This wasn't your fault, Monica. You don't have to beat yourself over it. If you ask me, it's good that the truth finally come out. Does Bruno Mars is gay? Because I can just move on now. But... it's fine, I promise. Let's just get this all from mind, okay? In fact, it's a good opportunity to read some manga without having to worry about feeding Yuri's superiority complex. Don't be mean. I'll talk or read manga whenever you want, but don't be mean to my friends, okay? Sorry. I'm just bitter.
Everything will be okay. I mean, I don't have the answers, but at least I know that we're all good people and don't want to hurt each other. This will be a learning experience. Monica says that, but her uneasiness is given away by how much she has to force the reassuring tone in her voice. This was bound to happen eventually. Natsuki and Yuri had always engaged with each other the least out of anyone, and this was the reason. As Sayori and Natsuki proceed to distract themselves with manga, Monica sighs to herself, unable to shake her worried thoughts. Will the club really have to just come in terms with the fact that some members will be incompatible with each other? Monica desperately doesn't want to admit that, and she knows Sayori doesn't either. But for once, a solution doesn't seem to be in sight. Oh, most definitely. They'll never hurt each other, ever. Everything is great in the Doki Doki Literature Club. Nothing bad ever happens here.
Okay. Part 2. Reflection. A new day arrives. Sayori arrives at the club room earlier than usual. That is, not late. Okie dokie literacy club. Everything is okie dokie. As she enters, it appears to be empty still. So she sits down at a desk and pulls out a sheet of paper, primed to jot down her thoughts. Sayori has made a habit of scribbling her thoughts and feelings into paper whenever possible, as it tends to serve as her best inspiration for poetry.
My heart feels vacant because the ship sailed away. Yo! Natsuki?
Natsuki pokes her head out from behind the closet door.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. But it would have been a lot more awkward if I didn't say anything. I doubt you want me listening in on your poetry thing. Yeah. Thanks for realizing that. Should I let you finish that up then? No, I wasn't. I mean, I'll just do it whenever it's convenient. You're not interrupting. Where's Monica, by the way?
Oh, she's out in the hallway.
Huh? Why?
Well, just in case she runs into Yuri. Sometimes Yuri is too nervous to come into the club room by herself, so...
Oh, jeez. Does Yuri let things bother her? Does Yuri really let things bother her for that long?
She can't control her feelings. Oops. For some people, it's really hard to cope when you get a bad thought in your head. Maybe you can distract yourself for a little while. But as soon as it's just you and your thoughts again, it comes back.
I just want to have a normal club meeting. It's a lot easier to pretend like it never happened if we all just ignore it and move on. I don't want to be bothered like this.
By this, not like this. Oops.
It's so stupid. Her opinion of me doesn't matter anyway. Besides, it made me feel really guilty, and I hate that too. It's okay to have feelings. Doesn't make you weak. Let's figure this out together. Fine. Only because you're good at this stuff. Let's try to come up with a happy scene. Maybe that will help us understand where your bad feelings are coming from.
Oops, I keep on pressing that.
Well, I was happy the way things were before we had to have that conversation yesterday.
What part of that conversation made you upset? Was it Yuri being mean about manga?
Maybe. I doubt it though. Because my friends and other people make fun of manga all the time, but I just brush it off and ignore them. But something about it really got to me this time, and I hate that I'm letting that happen.
Is it because it came from Yuri?
No, why would that matter? I mean, well, maybe. I hate that she thinks she's so much better than me just because she likes to pretend to be all sophisticated. Yeah, that's what it is. At least other people decide they don't like me or manga or whatever. But Yuri acts like she's too good to even give it a chance.
I'm sorry. Everyone deserves a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you give Yuri's book a chance?
After this? Obviously not.
I mean, what about before this?
Well, I would until I got bored, which wouldn't take very long. But if you actually keep an open mind when it's not... But if you actually keep an open mind, then it's not hard to realize that a story can be deep and meaningful without being needlessly complicated.
I see. But you know, I like Yuri's books.
Yeah, but you like manga more, right?
Sayori shakes her head.
I like them both. I like them in different ways, but I like them both. I mean, the manga, it's really honest and fun and easy to just let go with. The fantasy has a lot to interpret and uncover, and it's really rewarding to have some good quiet time together with it. But the most important thing is that both the manga and the fantasy are true to themselves. So I love them both.
And I think there's room for both of them to be in the same club together. And I just feel like maybe they have more in common than you would think.
How do you get along with everyone so well? I always get into fights with people. Like, first it was with Monica when I was new to the club. Then it was with you. Now it's Yuri. And I'm always like, oh, that person's being such a jerk. And if they would just realize that, then we could at least get along. But no one else had this problem. I just keep running away from the reality that everyone's just a jerk to me because nobody likes me. And I don't know why. And I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I hate it.
Natsuki. Natsuki puts a comforting hand on Natsuki's shoulder. You're a wonderful person. You deserve to be loved as much as everyone else. Everyone has different ways they like to communicate, you know? And sometimes that makes it harder for us to understand each other. I think that sometimes we get lucky and we make friends who are really good at the same kinds of communication. And it feels like you magically connect with them. But other times, even when both people are really nice, it's easy for them to misunderstand each other or get the communication wrong. It's something that Yuri struggles a lot with too. It can be really hard. It takes a lot of, reflection and self-awareness and vulnerability. I'm bad at that one. Vulnerability. I always have to be the strongest. What do you mean? Tell me about that part of you. Small dog syndrome.
Well, it sounds stupid, but I'm really used to people being mean to me. Like my friends, and I guess my dad. Like when I don't get good grades, or even stupid things like if my room isn't clean. So what am I gonna do? Cry about it? If I let myself get upset, then it's just letting them win. I'm better than that. I'm better than all of them. So things always have to be everyone else's fault. It feels like if something goes wrong, then there's even a little tiny hint that it might be my fault then. I get really angry and I find ways to blame everything else instead.
Do you see yourself as better as Yuri?
If I said that, then I would just sound really full of myself. No. Our thoughts and our feelings are two different things. Even if we don't like our feelings, we have to understand them if we want to learn more about ourselves. It's part of vulnerability, you know? Accepting that we have feelings that we don't like. I hate that. My feelings make me a bad person. Because my feelings just want to tell me that I'm so much better than her. That she's a judgmental know-it-all who's stuck in her edgy phase and I'm just way above that garbage. But I'm terrible for feeling that way.
You're not terrible. You are not your feelings.
But you are not your feelings. Say that to yourself, out loud. Fine. I am not my feelings. The way that I like to picture it is that those feelings are like your roommate. You live in the same house and you gotta see them you gotta see each other every day. And even if you can ignore each other most of the time, you're gonna run into each other every now and then and it's gonna make you feel like poop. So the other option is to get to know each other. You can communicate and learn from each other, maybe even help each other change for the better. Does that help you understand? How do you know so much about this stuff?
I just have a roommate that can be really hard to get along with.
Called depression. Depression? But you're like the happiest person I know. I am not my feelings. I want to be a good person like you. Oh, you little sweetheart. We're all good people. You and Yuri and Monica. I think Yuri will eventually learn that about you.
Natsuki remains silent, feeling a little overwhelmed. Despite Sayori's kind reassurance, a complicated mixture of pain and sadness seems to fill her, as though flowing from a wound inside her. Was it a result of her vulnerability? No, it wasn't as though she was inflicted a wound after becoming vulnerable. It was as though she began to rediscover an old wound, one that cannot simply be bandaged and left alone any longer. Blah blah. I'm actually gonna grab my charger real quick. Yuri, what are you doing all the way over here? I was looking for you.
Please don't yell at me.
Oh, I'm not gonna yell at you. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry about what happened yesterday. It was unfair for me to put everyone on the spot like that. Next time, I won't just try to jump in and solve everyone's problems. I guess it's a bad habit of mine.
You're not mad at me?
I thought you were the one mad at me.
I was so awful yesterday.
Yuri curls up, recalling the details of the argument.
I can't even have a normal conversation without saying something wrong and making everyone upset.
Hold on, that's not what happened at all. Let's talk about this, okay? Yuri pauses for a second, then manages a nod. Monica takes a seat next to her on the staircase.
I'm having a lot of negative thought patterns and I can't get away from them.
What kind of negative thought patterns?
Like everyone hates me, especially Natsuki.
Oh, that's terrible. I don't think Natsuki hates you.
How do you know?
Well, because Monica thinks back to the time that she herself found herself in an altercation with Natsuki, and how a display of maturity from Monica was enough for Natsuki to reevaluate her own feelings as well. I think that Natsuki is just naturally defensive. I think she acts mean when she feels the need to protect herself. But you know, she's really not a bad person. In fact, I think she can be really thoughtful and considerate. She's just, well, I guess from the way it works is that she wants to receive some degree of kindness first before she feels comfortable returning it.
Oh, but that means the burden's on me. And I don't know how to say things that make people like me. Every time I open my mouth,
Yuri shakes her head at herself and tugs on her hair. It's okay, Yuri. You don't have to beat yourself up. I think anyone would like you if they just had the chance to get to know you.
Well, unfortunately, the opposite is true. That's why I'm not talkative anymore in the first place. Because everyone used to think I was weird and talk about me behind my back. That's just what happens when I draw attention to myself. Natsuki even said that she found it more respectable when people speak their mind, so I did, and she hated me anyway. That was enough to confirm my fears.
But Sayori and I like you, and we've gotten to know you a lot by now, right? Yuri doesn't seem to have a response. Hey, what do you think of Natsuki?
I don't think about her.
That's not what I meant, really.
I
was just wondering if you had an opinion on her.
I do.
What is it?
Natsuki seems to bring out the worst in me, and I feel really ashamed of it. I like to think of myself as a fairly sophisticated person, so for someone to just treat me like I'm inferior despite my tastes, that's just the worst kind of insult coming from someone like her. And it makes me think bad things about her. But everyone else seems to like her, so the only explanation is that it's me who's doing something wrong again. And my feelings about her are wrong. Am I wrong to get upset over something so childish and inconsequential?
No, Yuri. Feelings are never wrong.
Well, they're not right.
That's the thing. Feelings are never right or wrong, you know? They're just a state of being that we don't always have control over. But that doesn't mean they have to control us. I feel like that's something I've learned around when I first started the club. We can hate ourselves for feeling a certain way about things, or we can, you know, just acknowledge that they exist and try to understand them better. I could never be mad at you for just feeling a certain way. It's about how you handle them. And I think working through feelings is a great opportunity for teamwork. Yuri wears a dejected expression.
You make it sound so easy. You're so mature. And so good with people. I feel like such a child in comparison.
Oh, Yuri. I'm far from perfect. But these are learned skills. They don't come naturally to me either. It's really hard to, reflect on yourself and separate your feelings from your thoughts.
I want to be a good person.
Well, I think it takes a good person to get this far.
That's not enough. I want to be able to communicate it to her.
Communicate what?
How I feel. How it makes me feel frustrated and upset when she's so negative and dismissive of the things that mean so much to me. And how it reminds me of me. Because I know what it's like to feel misunderstood and angry at everyone. I know that telling yourself you're better than everyone else is just a defense mechanism. We're just people. We're fragile and unstable. But I'm just tired of that getting in the way. I can't stand it when the peace is disturbed like this.
Yeah, you can't focus on your reading when the peace is disturbed, right?
Because the literature club should be happy for everyone.
Monica looks at Yuri in adoration. I feel like Sayori must be rubbing off on me, because I really want to hug you right now. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable.
No, I mean, well, if you wanted to, then I wouldn't really mind, so...
Monica pulls Yuri into a short embrace.
You're so gentle.
And I love when you communicate your feelings. I feel so lucky to see that side of you. And I'm sure Natsuki will too.
I'm gonna write her a letter.
Oh, a letter? What a great idea!
Just because I'm not good at talking, especially under pressure. I always let my feelings get the best of me, and I forget to say all the important things that I say, and I say things I don't mean.
Well, I think a letter would be wonderful. Such a nice way to communicate. Yuri's face hardens with determination.
People don't naturally gravitate towards me like they do for you or in Sayori. My personality just isn't suited for that, and I wouldn't want it to be. But something I've learned is that friendships don't always just magically appear out of thin air. For instance, I never thought I would never have seen myself making friends with someone like Sayori. We're opposites in a lot of ways. But I'm friends with her because she put so much effort into understanding me so that we can get along. I think it was the same with you. You both gave me a lot of time and patience. And I wonder if she feels the same way.
Natsuki?
Yuri nods. I always thought that if I wanted to make more friends, I had to be someone that I'm not. That there's a type of person or a magical formula I have to follow in order to make someone like me. And that's just like me to think that. I'm always so occupied with myself that I fail to understand other people. Yuri shakes her head. Friendship happens when you think about the other person. When you offer time and effort to understand them and respect them and trust that they also want to be a good person. That's what I learned through my observations in the literature club.
Observations? Monica is caught by surprise. Yuri has always kept to herself so much that this is so unusual to hear her so suddenly talking about the club like this. But Yuri gently smiles to herself.
You always let me listen to your thoughts about people. Sayori too. It makes me happy because I learn a lot of things.
That's so sweet. I had no idea it meant that much to you. Monica never thought much of it, but in the past weeks, Yuri always seemed to be especially attentive when it comes to the problems and concerns of others, always wanting to listen and learn more about her friends in the club. It's true. Sayori and Monica are naturally more comfortable with other people and can more easily work through situations of conflict. But it doesn't make them better people. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses and the capacity to improve. And the first step towards improving oneself is reflection and self-awareness. It's something that Yuri never gave herself enough credit for, but Monica can recognize as an incredible trait. And with that, her confidence in the club is restored. A very shy girl with long, pretty hair is wandering in the bustling lunchtime hallways, her fists pressed into her collarbone. When she finds the literature club president's classroom, she stands at the door, glancing all around her before peering inside. Monica is sitting and chatting with a group of unknown friends. Yeah, as expected, this is a bad
idea after all. Suddenly, Monica glances towards the door, making the girl panic and duck out of sight. Before she can regain composure and decide for sure to leave, the classroom door gently opens.
Yuri, what a surprise to see you during lunch.
Yuri squeaks in response. Please help me.
What? Is everything okay?
Yuri shakes her head. I don't know how to write letters.
Thank goodness. I thought it was some kind of emergency.
Monica briefly glances over her shoulder at her other friends.
Do you want some help? We can go find an empty classroom or something.
Is that okay? I feel bad taking you away from your friends.
It's totally fine, I promise. We weren't really doing anything. 1 sec.
Monica trots back into her classroom, says something like, "Gotta go," to her friends, and grabs a pen off her desk before returning to Yuri.
Okay, let's find somewhere quiet.
Yuri nods and follows Monica as the two of them set off. How are you today?
Huh? Me?
Well, yes.
Oh gosh, sorry. I was just caught off guard. I am doing well today, just tired. Never seem to get enough sleep during the week.
How come?
I don't know. I think I'm just easily distracted. I get really sucked into things and start neglecting the time.
Me too. I do that too.
Hey, this classroom is empty. Let's go in there.
Yuri and Pin. Oh god, don't remind me. I just really like the way that it writes.
Oh god.
Preparing inside, Monica opens the classroom door and the two of them enter. Yuri's moment of relaxation ends. She watches as Monica pulls 2 chairs up to the same desk, then obeys as Monica beckons her to take a seat. She stares down at the empty desk.
You nervous?
I don't want to do this.
Hehehe.
We don't have to. We can come up with something else.
Yuri shakes her head. It's my chance to do something good. I need to take initiative.
Gosh, you must be really determined. I know how hard it is to step out of your comfort zone. I'll be sure to encourage you.
Yuri pushes through her anxiety and grabs a handful of lined paper from her notebook. Then she picks up her pen.
Hey, you're left-handed. That's neat.
Yeah.
Now I don't have to worry about bumping into your arm.
Monica playfully rubs her shoulder against Yuri's.
Sorry, I was just being silly, I guess. Anyway, how about we start by listing the different things you want to say to her?
Yuri thinks. I feel embarrassed all of a sudden.
Aw, it's okay. How about some of the things you said to me yesterday?
But, never mind. I guess I'll try. Yuri thinks for a moment longer, her tension evident. Then she writes the word reflection. This is about my reflection on our behavior. The key question is why we act like this towards each other, but have been able to separately be friends with Sayori and Monica.
That's me.
Yes, it is. So, Yuri thinks. I have been able to befriend the two of you because you've taken the time to understand my needs and respect my interests.
The same goes for Natsuki too. We started all of this pretty hostile to each other because I was so worried about getting what I wanted, but she just wanted to be respected more than anything else. Once I stopped making it all about me, she was able to do the same.
I want to do that too.
So what kind of things do you want to do for her?
I want to do the same things for her that I like to receive. Like oral. I mean, I like it when people respond positively to the things I talk about and not just brush me off. I like it when my feelings are taken seriously. And I like when you and Sayori trust that I want to be a good person, even when I'm not doing a good job at it.
Let's write those things down.
Okay.
Yuri writes some things down. I think the most important thing to remember here is that Natsuki is feeling vulnerable, so we should make sure that the letter puts her first. It's hard when you're feeling hurt, but it never helps to just tell someone all the things that they're doing wrong. I think first you have to make sure they know you're ready to respect them and listen to them and admit all the things you feel you can do better. And finally, you ask what you want. You ask what you would like in return. How does that sound from structure? It could be 3 paragraphs, one for each of those points.
I like that. My thoughts were so disorganized, I had no idea how to come up with any kind of structure. You're amazing at these things.
Oh, stop. You've done so much more than I have, you know. You spend so much time reflecting and being open-minded. That's the hardest thing for anyone to do. All I'm doing is helping you put it on a piece of paper. So, I think you're the amazing one. Monica gives Yuri's hand a quick squeeze. But as she lets go, she's caught by surprise when Yuri curls her fingers to hook Monica's hand in place. For a while, they sit like that in silence, save for the occasional scratching of Yuri's pen against the paper.
Yesterday, you told me something that I'm thinking about a lot.
What's that?
The thing about how feelings aren't right or wrong, and that they're just a state of being we need to come into. Oh my god. Sorry. The thing about how feelings aren't right or wrong, and that they are just a state of being we need to come to terms with. It made me think about how a person's behavior isn't always just how they decide to be. It also made up of their past experiences and their insecurities. I think that helps me see other people as actual people rather than as insignificant side characters who are out to get me somehow.
Is that how you felt about Natsuki?
Yuri nods. But in reality, everyone is always trying their best and everyone wants to be happy.
Monica peers over at Yuri's paper, but to her surprise, Yuri pulls it in closer, partially covering it with her arm. I have to be able to read it to help you out, you know.
It's okay. My thoughts are a lot more organized now after being able to talk to you about it. Now that I'm actually putting it on paper, I realize I really prefer others not to read it.
Yuri laughs softly to herself, a rare expression. I'm kind of glad to hear that, actually. I somehow kept finding ways to butt into this whole thing. I've done enough damage. But it's also been so wonderful talking about this. I mean, I always thought you were really smart, but... Yuri smiles.
I will always be terrible at these things. People are just so incomprehensible to me. I'll never get the hang of being one.
Listening to you so much has really helped me make sense of some things.
So please don't... Oh, was that Yuri? No. Yeah, that was Yuri. Oops. But listening to you so much has really helped me make some sense of some things. So just don't call it damage, please.
Monica gives Yuri a gentle smile.
I can't believe I came to this club looking for fantasy geeks, and all I got was real friends who value me.
Is that a joke?
Of course it is.
I still can't tell with you.
Sorry.
No, I love it. Please never change.
As you wish.
Yuri glances at the clock.
We're almost out of time.
Will you be able to finish?
Before the end of the day, probably. But I don't want to come to the club the same day that Natsuki reads it. I'm too shy.
I can give it to her instead if you'd like. Yuri nods.
As long as you promise not to read it.
Of course, I promise. Thank you. Yuri exhales and the two stand up.
I'll message you when it's ready.
Monica nods. Good luck. I'm here if you need me. Yuri returns a nod and the two depart. So I think that was reflection part 2. There seems to be always CGs in the second part. And yeah. Me. Okay. I'm just making sure. It was this one, right? You do the rise. Yeah. Yeah, I already did this one. So close. Because I only got 2 more left. I got 2 more left, but my voice is so tired. I'm gonna push through it. Self-love. Whew. It's only been 1 day since Yuri's letter was delivered to Natsuki with Monika's help. Because Yuri chose not to attend the club meeting that day, she and Natsuki haven't faced each other since. Although it's only lunchtime, Yuri finds herself anxiously counting the hours until she would need to face the outcome of her efforts, whether good or bad. And because the passing by of students was making her feel even more anxious, Yuri picked out the most secluded spot she could find to spend her lunch. Because the staircase is under maintenance, no student would have any reason for coming here. She did do some self-love with that pen. It's such a relaxing feeling to have a moment of solitude in the middle of a frantic school day.
What are you doing here?
I was just...
Yuri grips her book with enough force to wrinkle the pages beneath the pressure of her thumbs.
Well, what are you doing here?
I just came to get a drink from the vending machine. The other one is out of the drink I like.
Yuri notices Natsuki fidgeting with a few coins between her fingers. She nods, avoiding eye contact. Natsuki, also looking away, shuffles over to the vending machine. Dun, 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 dun. Aha! What is that? He goes in the background with a music sheet. Dun, 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 dun. I'm proud of myself. So quiet that every one of her moments seemed to be reverberated through the entire stairwell. After far too long, she finally receives her beverage, which she then fidgets with in place of her coins. Some kind of iced tea. But instead of leaving right away, Natsuki just stands in place. She glances all around her.
It's like way too quiet back here. It's creepy. I mean, that's not what I meant, really. I mean, it's totally cool that it's your thing or whatever. Like, I can see how it suits you, so... Not because I think you're creepy or something. I didn't mean that either. You know, I'm just gonna stop talking. That seems like a good idea.
It's okay. Everything is okay.
Yuri finds herself attempting some words of comfort after hearing Natsuki stammer herself into a dejection. Seemingly in response, Natsuki approaches the base of the staircase and hesitantly sits herself down near Yuri.
Well, I can leave if you want.
Yuri shakes her head. Natsuki twists the cap off her drink and takes a sip. Despite receiving Yuri's general permission, Natsuki doesn't say anything more. Yuri continues to read, or at least pretends to. And the two of them just sit there for a long time. The tension seemed to fade a little bit as time passes. Even without any words, this seems to mean at least something, though it's not clear what that may be. Lunch ends more quickly than expected. Natsuki is the first person to stand up with her empty drink bottle.
Are you coming today? To the club?
Yuri nods.
I'm sorry for being so awkward. I'm really bad at talking about this stuff. I just can't for some reason. I don't know why. But I want to, eventually.
There's no rush, I promise.
Thanks.
It's the next day. Natsuki appears from around the corner and steps up to the vending machine, glancing at Yuri as she does so. Today, she seems to be holding some kind of book as well.
Oh, you're here again. Well, I just came here to read this because there aren't any people around here.
Oh, I thought you didn't like how quiet it was.
Well, I don't. But there's no people here.
I see.
Natsuki sits down. The mood feels much different today than it did yesterday. After yesterday's lunch and the club meeting that followed, Natsuki and Yuri are beginning to feel more relaxed around each other again. Although Yuri's letter is still lingering in the back of Natsuki's mind, she continues to detour around it.
But it's okay that I'm here?
Yeah, I don't care. I mostly just don't feel like dealing with the crap I get from my friends about it. Especially since, like, they all just assumed I stopped reading manga after I joined the literature club. Not that I'm trying to hide it from them exactly, but I just don't want it to come up again now after I waited so long for this volume to come out. Literally months at this point.
You don't have other friends who are into manga?
Not unless online friends count. It's Sayori, but that's different because she's not exactly into it. She just likes it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you're lucky that the books you're into at least just looks like books. So you don't have to feel like everyone is constantly judging you by what you're reading.
That would be so awful. Especially since I already hate attention so much.
Well, it's a good thing I have thick skin, I guess. By the way, I would totally recommend finding some friends online if you haven't already. If you're like me and have none to share your hobbies with.
Oh, I have online friends. Since middle school, actually. I was especially desperate back then. It was somewhat embarrassing to reminisce about those days. Sometimes I feel like the me from a few years ago would have benefited from a good smack in the face.
Oh, whatever. We were all just stupid kids back then anyway. Some of the fanfics I wrote, thank God I used a pseudonym. But I liked it at the same time. I got a lot of fulfillment out of it. And plus, I can look back and say with confidence that I've become a better person since then. So I don't think I would change anything.
I wonder if a few years from now we'll think about the same thing about our current selves.
Probably.
That doesn't make you feel uncomfortable?
No, of course not. I don't care what other people think of me. Especially someone who doesn't even exist yet. Alright, here.
Natsuki raises her hand to her face and forcibly slaps her own cheek.
Oh, phew. That's me. That's me from the future coming in terms with me right now. Also, ow, I didn't mean to do it that hard.
Yuri doesn't seem to react. But then, to Natsuki's surprise, Yuri shyly looks the other way before lifting her arm and doing the same thing to herself, loudly smacking her cheek. She turns red and stares into her lap, but is unable to hide a smile, as though it was a really funny joke.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't know you had it in you.
I don't. I don't even know why I did that. Maybe I thought it would be funny. Sorry, I keep distracting you. You said before you were looking forward to reading. I'm gonna keep going on about all this nonsense. I'll let you get to your reading.
All right. Yeah, I guess I'd do that then.
The conversation ends quickly, and Natsuki opens her book. Come on, get comfortable. I really need to invest in a better chair. The two read silently for the remainder of the lunch hour. But the whole time, Yuri feels distracted by a twist of regret over having so abruptly forced the end of their conversation. Oh no. I feel that. I actually have a trunk. And it has a bunch of my old drawings. It's both like embarrassing and kind of like, hey, I improved a lot since then and stuff like that. It's kind of nice to look back now and then. You're back.
Yeah, I'm here to lay low again.
Another day has passed. During lunchtime, Natsuki finds herself having wandered into the stairwell once more.
Hey, did you buy that?
Natsuki quickly notices a bottle of iced tea on the staircase where she normally sits. Yuri nods, avoiding eye contact. Aww.
What? Like, for me? But you didn't know I was coming here today. What if I didn't show up?
Well, I would have drank it myself, I guess. It was a stupid thing to do.
No, it wasn't stupid. I just thought... Never mind. But I meant to... Oopsie doopsie poopsie. What I meant to say is thank you. And that it was a really nice gesture.
It's okay if you don't feel it that way.
I do. It was the other thing that I didn't mean. I swear, please believe me.
Yuri pauses and then nods. Talking is hard. I get it wrong a lot too. So I believe you. Natsuki exhales in relief. She then sits down next to Yuri and takes a drink. Knowing Yuri, she was probably overthinking it so much that Natsuki's tepid response filled her with self-doubt.
I'll do something nice for you next time.
Please, don't feel obligated.
I want to. I want to do nice things too.
Okay. Thank you.
You can thank me after I figure out how to do something nice.
I'll do it then too. Natsuki sighs.
Nothing. It just reminds me how I haven't been getting along with my friends lately.
Is that why you've been coming here?
Well, no, not exactly. I haven't been avoiding them on purpose or anything. There are just other things I'd rather be doing during lunch lately. Like you, Yuri. I like being around them when they're all just having fun, but they also just can't take anything seriously. So when I don't know, feeling serious, when their attitudes just really get on my nerves. Then their attitudes just really get on my nerves. It's only gotten worse ever since I joined the literature club.
How come?
I don't know. I I feel like I used to be really good with just putting up with it, because it would be so stupid to cause drama over a joke I didn't like or something. But I just have a hard time doing that lately. But it's my fault for being overly sensitive. If I have a problem, I'm not going to demand for everyone around me to change.
But
Yeah, I know. Monica and Sayori really don't agree with that kind of thing. But they're not in my position, so it's easy for them to say that you should just communicate your feelings or whatever. It's not like my friend group does that kind of thing. I would just be making up an embarrassment of myself. Making an embarrassment of myself. Sorry, none of this has anything to do with you. I don't know why I'm talking about it.
it's okay. I like listening.
What? Listening to other people's problems?
Yes,
That's weird. Sorry.
I like learning about people. Do you think it's weird?
No, that's not weird. I probably just misunderstood, so... I don't know. Does that mean I should keep going?
If you like.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to talk about now.
Well, what are some things that you like about your friends?
A lot of things. I mean, they're really fun to hang out with, like after school and on the weekends. And they really like my baking. It's fun to complain about school together. They make me laugh a lot, and we have lots of good memories and inside jokes.
Oh, I'm bad at a lot of those things.
So?
Are all those things that are those all the things that's important to you?
Well, kind of, but are not the things I need to get out of everybody. Everyone in the club is really different from that, but I'm still friends with them too.
Well, Sayori really likes your baking, and she makes you laugh, and she complains a lot.
That doesn't mean she's anything like my other friends.
Well, unlike them, she's a nice person who cares about your feelings.
Excuse me? How about you don't talk that way about my friends that you don't know anything about? Nesky stands up.
No, wait. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I didn't want to say something bad. Please don't leave. Natsuki sighs and shakes her head.
It's fine. As long as you understand that you can't just judge people like that.
I'm sorry. Natsuki sits back down.
You can't just compare friends like that and like measure who's better than who. Everyone is different.
I'm sorry. I just don't like people who want to hurt you.
A moment of silence stretches between them.
They don't want to hurt me. We just like to tease each other about stupid things. It's fun.
I don't like that.
Well, that's why I'm friends with them, and you're not.
You like it?
Just don't worry so much about me. It's not worth it.
I'm sorry. I wish I knew how to help with social conflicts. Like how Monica can. She's good at these things.
Not really. Also, I don't always want help. Sometimes it's just stuff I have to deal with myself. That's what Monica and Sayori never seem to understand. Sometimes all you do is look at them wrong and they're like, "Oh, what's wrong? Is everything okay?" I just want to mind my own business sometimes and decide myself if I want to talk about things. The only one who understands that is you. So, you really shouldn't be so hard on yourself. You're not as bad as you think.
Oh, you don't need to reassure me or anything.
I mean that. Plus, it makes sense that someone who doesn't talk a lot would make a good listener.
Thank you. You're also nice.
It's really hard for me. It doesn't come naturally at all. It's so weird because I always thought of myself as someone who can just say whatever's on my mind. But I feel like that only works when I'm annoyed or upset or I want to say something mean. Why am I like that? You don't have to answer that. I'm just talking to myself.
Yuri nods and remains silent. Natsuki noticed her fidgeting with the pages of her book.
How come you like reading so much?
Well, a lot of reasons. But I just get sucked into it so easily. It's so immersive. Like I want to be a part of it. I think There are a lot of things about people in real life that make me feel uncomfortable and frustrated, especially when it comes to following social conventions and group interactions. I just don't really understand it, and I have no real desire to participate. But it's different with books. It feels like I always want to be around the characters. I feel such a strong emotional connection with them in ways that I never felt with real people. So in that way, it can sometimes feel more real than real life.
Really? It's that hard for you to be around people? Like, all the time?
Fairly often, especially in group settings. When people are making all kinds of conversation and saying jokes and all of that, I don't know what to do and I just disengage.
Oh. That doesn't get lonely?
I don't think so. I can enjoy spending time with people one-on-one, and I have online friends too, of course.
Do you ever wish that you could be friends with the characters in your books?
All the time. Sometimes so badly it makes my heart ache.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
Uh-huh. A lot. Like, more than anything.
After Natsuki mutters that, silence filled the stairwell once more. But it's a mutual silence, one full of understanding.
One more to go! Woo!
Banana, terracotta, bye. What are my characters? It does go higher. Yay. Hey.
Ooh. Oh, hello. I almost thought you weren't coming today.
Yeah, well,
Lunch is already more than halfway over. Natsuki had typically been meeting Yuri in the stairwell much earlier, since it had been a good way of dodging her friends when she didn't feel like seeing them. Today she's holding a large plastic container in both hands.
I ran into my friends, so I hung out with them for a while.
Is that so?
Yeah. I was in a good mood today, so I figured I should. I hadn't seen them in a while, which I had to come up with an excuse for, but I expected that. Plus, I have way more of these than I know what to do with, so I figured I would share with them too.
As she sits down, Natsuki opens the lid of her container.
You made cupcakes.
You know it. It's been a while at this point, so I figured it was about that time again. You can take one if you want.
Yuri takes a cupcake and carefully twirls it between her fingers. It's brown, with dark green frosting immaculately shaped into a floral pattern and topped with some kind of glittery powder.
How pretty. I just ate, so I may not be able to finish it. Are they for the club?
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't really think about it. I just made them.
I just thought that because green is Monica's favorite color, right?
Well, yeah, but that's not really...
Yuri takes a small bite.
This is green tea flavored. I love green tea.
Oh, do you? It's just a random idea I want to try, so... Don't laugh at me.
I'm not. I just felt happy.
Oh, sorry. Usually when... Never mind. What I mean is that I'm glad. Sorry for saying dumb things again. I just wanted to do something nice. And this is something I happen to be good at. And I do know that you like them from past experience.
Yuri turns red, recalling the time she treated herself rather generously to Natsuki's cupcakes. Ironically, her mouth is too full of cupcake for her to stammer an excuse, so she just settles for a disapproving look.
How did you get into baking?
Oh, well, I don't know. It just kind of always appealed to me. Well, a few years ago, I read this one manga with a lot of baking, so I got, like, super into it for a while. I was probably making stuff almost every day.
Perfect girls.
But it's something that I always knew I liked anyways. It was like, baking is like an art. Oops. It's like, baking is like art, But when you get good at it, it gets more delicious too.
I struggle to imagine myself putting my heart into something so artistic, knowing that it would just be eaten afterwards.
Yeah, maybe you're too practical for it.
I think I prefer to be on the receiving end.
That's my other favorite part about it. It's something I can do to make make something I can do make a lot of people happy, like unconditionally. Everyone is always so thankful, and in that moment you get to be like the bringer of joy. I don't know, it just makes me feel...
Valued.
Yeah, I guess that.
So, you were able to make up with your friends today?
There wasn't really anything to make up with them about. We weren't fighting or anything.
You weren't? Maybe I misunderstood.
It only turns into a fight if I lose my cool. That's just unnecessary drama. It only makes things worse.
So they're not going to stop?
I mean, it only happens sometimes anyway. It's just the way they are. I'm the only one who ever has a problem with it. It's not worth it. Oops, did I miss anything? Nope. Especially when I have somewhere to go now, when I don't feel like hanging out with them.
Oh, I see.
The cupcake's empty foil wrapper audibly crinkles as Yuri clenches at her fist.
I'm glad this situation is resolved. And that you don't have to avoid them anymore.
Yeah, me too. And I don't have to bother you during your alone time anymore. I'm sure you have a lot of reading to catch up on.
Yeah.
I know that cupcakes are basically nothing compared to all the stuff you've done for me. But it's the best I can do. So you can have the rest of them.
Nitsuki grabs the box and slides it over to Yuri's feet. Yuri stares at the box. And she shakes her head and slides them back.
You should save them for your other friends.
But I made them for you.
Natsuki's voice whines as she protests.
I know. And I like them very much. Exactly as you thought. You succeeded. But I know you care about making your other friends happy too. And if this is the way you know how to make that happen, then I'm not going to take it from you.
No, they were for making you happy.
You made me happy. You're worth more than cupcakes to some people. That's why they want to spend time with you and be your friend.
Without warning, tears pour from Natsuki's eyes. She pulls her knees to her chest and starts sobbing into her arms.
Natsuki?
I'm such a bad person.
Yuri stammers, feeling panicked.
I didn't mean to say something bad.
Natsuki shakes her head and wipes her eyes.
You didn't.
Natsuki tries to choke back her sobs, but struggles to speak through them.
I just really hate myself sometimes. And it feels so wrong when you say those nice things to me. Like I don't deserve it.
I'm sorry.
No, I am. I'm so difficult. And I can't think of a single thing about myself that someone would like. And I hated myself for bothering you during lunch. I just thought it was my chance to be a good person, like to be nice and do the things you wrote about in the letter. I knew if I tried in the club, Sayori and Monica would be super annoying and make a huge deal out of it.
You know, I think a lot of those negative things too about myself. I never felt like a good person. Always scrutinize everything I say, and later I feel like I said all the wrong things. And I just spend so much time thinking about myself, hating myself, and feeling like everyone else must hate me too. So I understand some of that through my own experience. And that's why I wanted to write the letter to express my feelings. It pained me to see those things in someone else that I saw in myself.
Natsuki sniffles. Yuri rustles through her bag and pulls out some tissues and hands them to Natsuki.
Monica told me that it takes a good person to reflect on these things. The desire to improve yourself, that makes you a good person, so don't worry so much. Also, there are things about you that people would like, so...
Like what?
Like, Like how you're fun for people to be around. How you're fun for people to be around. And you're not shy. And you know how to make people laugh. And you're really passionate about things. And you know how to take the lead. And you care a lot about other people. And just a lot of things.
Oh. Well, you're making me feel really embarrassed.
Well, you're the one who asked. And don't you think I feel embarrassed? Natsuki tries to hide a smile, but then she sighs as it fades again.
Every time I come here, I always think it's the last time. But then I come coming back for some reason.
Is that bad?
Just really confusing. I mean, my friends and I go way back, so ditching them all the time feels like, I don't know.
Feels like what? Natsuki's voice get quiet.
Maybe I'm scared that they'll get mad at me. I really don't know what to do.
She pauses. Yuri stares into the distance, tracing her eyes along the patterns of the floor tiles while she thinks to herself. What would you do, hypothetically, if your friends were happy for you instead of mad at you?
Happy for what?
Happy that your new club is making you happy.
Well, that's just not a fair hypothetical.
Natsuki says that, but with little confidence in her voice.
I always told myself that I don't rely on the approval of others to be happy. And I still feel that way, but I'm spending time with people who put me down whenever I don't have their approval. That's probably what's making me feel so confused. Because I'm threatened out of the things that should make me happy. No matter what, it's like I have to be unhappy to be happy. It's making my head hurt.
That must make it really difficult to feel comfortable with yourself. Being made to feel like you're wrong just for being the person you are.
It really goes against everything I believe in, doesn't it? It goes against the kind of person I want to be. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with a lot of things.
Natsuki presses her palms into her forehead and shakes her head.
I know what's best for me, but I keep convincing myself out of it. It's so much easier to be comfortably unhappy than it is to do something scary.
That's true. To do what?
You know, to end it.
With them? Natsuki nods. I didn't think you were actively considering that as an option.
I wasn't until recently. It was just one of those things where, like, it's just been a certain way for so long that you just get used to it. Like, so much of you has gone into it. So much of it that it feels like just how that's just how your life is. And throwing it away is like throwing away such a big part of your life. It makes me feel sick to think about it.
Natsuki sighs.
It's just really scary. It's terrifying.
What are you scared of?
I don't know. A lot of things. Like being alone. Not having anyone to talk to or hang out with. Not being able to replace what I have with them. And I don't want them to hate me. And I'm scared they'll hurt me for going against them.
Physically?
Not physically, but...
Yuri clenches her fists. Natsuki.
What?
If anyone even thinks to cause you harm, I will unleash hell upon them. Natsuki snorts in laughter. Don't laugh at me.
Sorry, I like that. That's all.
Oh. Well, I meant it.
I know you did.
Natsuki gives Yuri an endearing look.
I needed it.
As the conversation laughs, Natsuki again slides her box of cupcakes over to Yuri.
Just take them, okay? I don't want other people to have them anymore.
Are you sure? Natsuki nods.
I'm sure.
I will, then. I'll enjoy them. Natsuki looks away, but a feeling of warmth spreads through her. She holds on into that feeling, knowing it will give her courage. Ah, you're here first today.
Mm-hmm.
And you brought reading material.
Mm-hmm.
Natsuki's sitting in her usual spot, this time holding a volume of manga while Lunch sits beside her. Yuri sits down as well and opens her own book.
It sucks when a good series has to come to an end. Like, it's such a big part of your life, and then one day there's just nothing left. Makes you feel so empty.
Unfortunately, I'm about to experience that myself. I'm on the last book of this series.
That sucks.
But there's also something satisfying about letting a story conclude. I don't know if I'd want it to go on forever.
Maybe. But there are some things that I wish could.
On the other hand, have you ever read something that overstayed its welcome?
Yeah, definitely. I can think of at least one thing I've read that got pretty unbearable like halfway through, and the ending really sucked. So, it sucks when something good has to end, but it also sucks when they just keep inventing more plot until you don't like it anymore. I guess it sucks either way.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the nature of all things. They come to an end.
The two fall silent. They slowly eat while making their way through their respective reading material. Except Natsuki doesn't seem to be touching her food at all.
You don't go out during the weekends, right?
Excuse me?
Like with friends, at the mall or downtown or whatever?
I'm not a total shut-in, you know?
Oh, my bad for making assumptions.
Well, I'm sure I go out less often than other people, like you and the others in the club. I don't really meet with friends and arbitrarily spend time like that. I'm usually meeting with my board game group.
Board game group? You're in the D&D?
It doesn't matter. It's just some nerdy stuff. Why do you ask anyway?
I was just curious. I just realized that I couldn't picture it, so I was just curious.
Yuri looks at Natsuki and realizes that she's shaking.
Don't look at me like that.
Sorry.
Natsuki pulls her knees into her chest and puts her head down.
I can't take this.
Did I do something?
Yuri gets flustered, her mind racing over what she may have said or done.
I did. I ended it. I texted them earlier, telling them. And I just blocked them because I was so afraid of their responses. Now it feels like I'm dying inside.
Oh, that's... I'm sorry.
Totally unsure of what to do, Yuri can barely find any words of support to offer. Meanwhile, the sound of Natsuki's unusually hard breathing fills the air, and she speaks again, barely above a whisper.
Help me. I feel sick and I want to hit my head against things. Please help me. I can't take this.
You may be having a panic attack, oh god.
With that realization, Yuri's demeanor suddenly changes.
I have experience with this, so I'll help you through it, okay?
Natsuki meekly nods through her rapid breath, head still buried in her knees. Yuri slides over to Natsuki and sits on the step behind her. Then she puts her hands on Natsuki's shoulders.
Can you feel my hands?
Natsuki nods. Her shaking becomes much more apparent through Yuri's sense of touch. Yuri keeps her voice low and gentle.
You're safe right now. You're in a good and safe place. There's nothing that can hurt you.
Natsuki nods once more. Although Yuri is only touching Natsuki's shoulders, she can practically feel her racing pulse through the base of her neck.
We'll do a breathing exercise together. All you have to do is listen to my breaths and breathe along with me. Let's breathe in now.
Yuri takes a deep, slow breath. Beneath her hand, she feels Natsuki's shoulders rise as Natsuki takes a breath of her own, trying to mimic Yuri. They exhale together, although Yuri's breath shakes on the way out.
That's good. Let's keep going.
Yuri breathes in once more, and Natsuki joins her. They continue like this for a few more cycles while Yuri closely monitors. Eventually, Yuri feels Natsuki rest more of her weight into Yuri's palms.
Let's focus on the physical world. All you have to do is focus on the feeling of your breath going in and out, and the weight of my hands on your shoulders. You're in a safe and comfortable physical space.
Minutes pass in silence. By now the worst of it has passed, but Yuri is determined not to move away until Natsuki prompts her to. Meanwhile, Natsuki had lifted her head off her knees and her breathing has mostly steadied. Then she takes a final deep breath and slowly pulls herself to her feet, causing Yuri to let go.
She stretches her arms.
Sorry. I didn't mean to freak out. I don't know what my deal is.
I don't know why. I didn't expect them to do a panic attack thing, man. I don't know, it just hits a lot for me. I still have trouble with anxiety and stuff, but I had a panic disorder in high school. So it kind of, it was just, panic attacks over panic attacks over panic attacks. They're not fun. They're not fun. Yeah, it used to be like a full-on disorder. I used to have panic attacks about having panic attacks all the time. Now it's just more generalized anxiety, but it's still enough to be a disorder. You don't have to apologize. This must be enormously stressful for you.
Is that going to keep happening?
Yeah, it gets in a loop. Because you get so afraid of feeling it again because it feels so horrible, it triggers another one. Because you're panicking about going into a panic again. I think it's like an OCD thing, maybe? I don't know.
Is that going to keep happening?
I hope not, Natsuki. I hope not. It may, or it may not. We can take measures to help prevent it in the future, but I think it will naturally get better over time. Natsuki motions to sit back down again, so Yuri moves over. Yuri turns away to pick up her open book from the dusty floor. She had hastily set down earlier. She brushes the dust off the cover.
I don't think I could have gotten through that alone.
You're not alone. Feeling shy again, Yuri speaks into her own lap. From now on, you don't have to do anything alone. She says that, Yuri tenses up. It's rare for her to openly share her thoughts. Something about Natsuki, of all people, makes it feel so much more natural to do so. Perhaps because, like Yuri, Natsuki is so timid and uncertain of herself. Natsuki does a good job of hiding it, and that it takes a long time for Yuri to finally realize it. Because of that, Yuri is able to deliver the reassurance that she herself would have wanted, demonstrating that you deserve the love of others. If you can accept that for the first time, then perhaps you can begin the tumultuous journey of learning to love yourself. Aw.
Do you really mean that? You're probably going to regret saying that if you do.
How so?
Because I'm probably going to have a lot of free time during the weekends from now on. So you're giving me permission to be as annoying as I want and drag you around to a lot of places.
I see.
But you already said it, so you can't take it back now.
Well, I suppose I have no choice but to accept that responsibility then.
Mm-hmm. I know a good ice cream place.
Oh. That means you'll finally figure out my favorite ice cream flavor.
Huh. What are you talking about?
Oh, you don't remember? The first day that you came to the club, you guessed everyone's favorite ice cream flavor. But for me, you said you had no idea.
Seriously? I don't remember that at all. Oh wait, yes I do. I said it was probably green tea.
Yuri shakes her head. It's a good guess, but my favorite is usually to get chocolate and raspberry together.
Chocolate and raspberry. How fancy.
How is that fancy?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I should have guessed something like that.
Well, maybe next time I'll try chocolate and strawberry.
Hey, strawberry's my favorite.
What a coincidence.
I think it helps to have something to look forward to. Still, I still have a sick feeling in my stomach. But it's easier now to convince myself that I did the right thing.
Yeah, you're probably gonna feel that for a little while. It takes a while to recover from those things. Yeah. Particularly bad ones, like, it takes me like, I don't know, like a week or more to get over it.
But it's easier now to convince myself that I did the right thing.
Is there anything better that I could be doing?
Not that I know of.
Honestly, she's doing the best that she can. But I can imagine that she's feeling really exhausted. I mean, that's because your fight and flight goes crazy.
There's nothing that would make this easy for me. And you already did more than I thought anyone could.
Come to
think of it,
Yeah, you're right. There's no heteros. I was skeptical before, but I ship it now. I can't help it. They're so cute.
Come to think of it, we never talked about the letter you wrote. But I feel like we're way past that at this point. I don't even know what to talk about. Except that I think it helped me understand my needs a little bit better. The way I like to be treated. And the kinds of friends that I want to have. That's why I wanted to start coming here in the first place. Even though I was so scared of causing more problems. I thought it was a coincidence that you ran into me here initially.
Oh, oops, my bad.
I thought it was a coincidence that you ran into me here initially.
Oh, well, not exactly.
What do you mean?
Nothing. I may have tracked you down first. With the help of Sayori.
But you said...
I was shy, okay? I wasn't ready to, whatever, you know what I'm saying.
Well, I'm glad you worked up the courage. Even if it was in your own way. I can tell that you're making a lot of difficult decisions. It's brave. It'll make things better in the long run. I think anyone would be proud of you for it.
Anyone? You mean, like you?
Yes. Like me.
You know, I could get used to this. As long as you don't tease me too much.
Oh, was that her? Oops, my bad. I know. I really appreciate these side stories a lot. And this is a big reason for that.
As long as you don't tease me too much.
Fine. Just a little then.
That's fine. I know how uncertain everything feels to you right now. But I really do think that good things are in store. Those are my honest feelings.
Thanks. It feels nice to be reassured.
The two girls continued their conversation for the remainder of lunch. But a new feeling hangs in the air. A feeling of greater certainty in their path forward. In just a few hours, there will be another literature club meeting, where the 4 club members will happily spend time together. Each of them, all with their own special qualities, have something unique that they can deliver to one another. Through friendship and literature, the club members will continue to grow and find new happiness together. The end of each chapter is the start of the next, Yuri thinks to herself. She's about to finish her long-running series. It would be best to have a new book lined up. Perhaps this weekend will be a good time to visit the bookstore. Together. Oh, ah! There's another one. There's one more. There's one more. No, what did I get? Oh, it's hey Monica. But it's how long is it? It's probably another hour. Deadbeat indeed. No, it might just be a minute. I am torn. It's almost 11 o'clock here. I think I'm gonna have one last Dokis stream. Maybe like go through again, try to get more of the poems in the second half. And if it's not long enough of a stream for me, I can always go do something else, but I'm tired. My voice is tired. My throat hurts. So I think this would be a good place to stop it. Cause oh lord. Hey, thank you. I'm glad you stopped by, Ben. It was nice seeing you. Or reading. Yeah, reading you? Reading your text? Whatever. It works. Whatever. Okay, well. See y'all next time. Bye.